This episode of Rookie Hunter is proudly brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation. Become a member, renew your membership, and join the Less Than One Club at wildsheepfoundation.org. And make sure to check out Sheep Fever, the official podcast of the Wild Sheep Foundation. Do your part to put and keep wild sheep on the mountain. Hey guys, welcome to episode 157. Flying solo on this one, but I was excited about the topic. You'll hear me refer to this guy as a new hunter a number of times, I think. And then I thought about it later, and I should clarify that he's not yet a hunter. He has his PAL. He does not yet have his core, but he wants to sort of take in the experience of hunting. So he's going to join me to observe and hopefully pack out some meat, but he won't be handling a firearm or anything like that or shooting at any animals. He's there to see what it's all about. So I'm hoping this experience tips him over to getting his core. He wants to do it, but this might be the thing that pushes him to sign up and write the exam. So I just wanted to clarify that. Covered a little bit of gear stuff, which I know you guys enjoy. Always want to hear your guys' thoughts on equipment and things you're using, things you like, things you don't like. You can send those into us, info@therookieHunter.com, or reach out to us on Instagram. And before you get into this episode, I discuss a photo at the end of this episode. And if you want to reference that, you can go to our Instagram. It's rookie_hunter_podcast. You can check out the photo of the beavers in the sea can. You'll see what I mean when you go there. And I'll circle back on that topic at the end of the episode. But just a reminder, there's a pretty wicked draw through the Wild Sheep Foundation. You could win a hunt in the Northwest Territories caribou hunt of a lifetime, really. It looks incredible. And if you're not a member, by putting your name in the draw, you will actually get a membership for 1 year as well. So more information on that in the show notes. But let's get into this one. Sit back, relax, crack an ice cold beer, and enjoy episode 157. All right. I'm excited about this topic. I have the honor of taking a new hunter into the backcountry for their first ever hunting trip. So it's kind of a ambitious way to take somebody on their first hunt, to do a 2-night, 3-day backpacking trip. The hike in, I think, is going to be somewhere in the 12-kilometer range. The terrain there's some challenging bits, but I'm trying to pick something that doesn't, that's just not going to kill you. So a little bit more flat, a little less vertical, comfortable, nice place to camp. And goal is to just make sure he enjoys it. So this guy that I'm taking, him and I go way, way back. He grew up in the same town as Kelly and Garrett and myself. We all went to high school together. He would have graduated with Garrett. And him and I do a lot of work together in the film industry. So, yeah, we spend a lot of time together. We spent a lot of time in hotel rooms and on the road. So I know that he's got sort of the mental capacity to do this, but I think it's going to be challenging for him. His name is also Kelly, so it may get confusing. And this trip that we're doing is next week, and is weather permitting. I want to go only if it's, going to be good weather. Otherwise, it could be kind of miserable. And again, like I said, this is a first-time experience, so you want it to be enjoyable. If it's raining and windy and stormy and awful, they may not want to come again. So things to consider when bringing somebody out for the first time. So in preparation for this over the last weekend here. Took him in for a hike. Kelly and I actually took him. Must have done somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, 10, 12 kilometer round trip. And he seemed to enjoy it. Later, he confessed that his legs were feeling it. A few times he thought his heart was going to explode, but he's in good shape. Spends a lot of time in the gym. And as you said, he's like, man, it's the gym and the trail are two very different things, which is quite true. But I think he's going to do okay. It'll be interesting once we get a backpack on him. So this is the first time I've sort of been tasked with equipping somebody with everything they need. And I'm very fortunate to have, duplicates of just about everything, including my old Fjallraven backpack, which I've mentioned many, many times. That thing still looks brand new. It's been on a ton of adventures, and now it's being used to bring out some new folks. So love that pack. Should fit them great. And I'm trying to figure out, the best way to do this because I'm going to be basically packing his pack for him. But I think what I'll do is get him to come over. We'll go through everything he's carrying and where it is in the pack. It's not that useful if you don't know what the hell you've got in there. And I'm going to try and take most of the weight. So I'll carry the shelter and some of the heavier items. But he's going to have a considerable chunk of weight on his back that he's never, experienced before. So I'll do my best to keep it light. And it is a hunt. So we have to consider that we might be coming out with some meat in the bag too. So, yeah, it'll be fun to kind of just go over everything with them and do some of the prep. And the food prep is another one that it's kind of tricky, man, when you're trying to figure out what somebody else might consume for calories, what they're going to enjoy eating. So this is the part that I'm just trying to figure out now. The easiest route is obviously to go, with the backcountry pantry or whatever. You name the dehydrated meals. They're easy. Some of them are palatable. There's a few that are not bad. Some of them are absolutely awful. So got to figure that stuff out. But I'm thinking, man, because this is only a 2-night trip, you can get away with bringing some non-dehydrated stuff. I feel like when I eat a whole bunch of dried fruit and granola and dehydrated meals, I kind of just feel like a fucking mess. You just feel kind of like you've been eating cement all day long. And it's nice if you can bring some things like even a couple apples, some fresh sandwiches to eat the day that you go in, even, the morning after your first day. Those things are still gonna be holding on. And one of the things I think I'm going to do, one of the things I really enjoyed when we did the moose hunt was I made like a lox bagel, which I'm sure I don't need to explain, but it's just a bagel topped with cream cheese, smoked salmon, red onions, capers, dill. You can throw a little cucumber on there too. And I'm trying to remember, I probably made 4 or 5 of them because we had the cooler. That moose trip, we had a full camp setup. So it kind of opens up a lot more options as far as storing and preserving food. But anyways, I think I'm going to do that for the day we hike in, and the following day should be pretty good. I mean, the smoked salmon is going to keep. Temperatures aren't overly hot at this point. So I might even be able to get away with packing in 3 of those. And what I did last time was I've got a vacuum sealer. So I made those bagels, hucked them in there, and sealed them all up. It kind of smashes them down pretty tight. But that is one of those things I kind of look forward to every day was, having one of those bagels. Easy to make. Obviously, a bagel's got a lot of calories in there, and it's not dehydrated food. Another good one. And the first time I tried this was probably on the first backpacking trip I ever did, which was on the Juan de Fuca Trail. We did an episode on that like many years ago. But that was my introduction to backpacking. And of course, you read all the blogs and stuff. And one of the things that was suggested was to cook bacon. And I mean, bacon being a cured meat with lots of preservatives in it, salt, etc., will keep for a while. So you can cook it, and you can either seal it up in a bag, or you can incorporate it into some things. And getting a soft shell tortilla and peanut butter, bacon, hard cheese like a Parmesan, and putting that all together, that is pretty good. That might sound like a weird mix if you've never, had peanut butter and bacon and cheese, but something about that combination and the texture of it and everything is a really good one to snack on. Lots of calories in that. And then beyond that, probably bring some stuff like some pepperoni. Again, trying to just not do all dehydrated stuff, but dried mango is something that I really enjoy. Gonna get some Hornby bars. Those ones are full of calories, and they're pretty good. They've got a good coffee one that'll give you a little boost, but I really like those ones. And then got to make sure I get some electrolytes and stuff like that. But I got to really plan out this meal plan here for the days that we're there. Think about breakfast, doing some oats or something like that. Keep it simple, but keep it really good, and try and bring as much non-dehydrated stuff as possible so that we're feeling good, feeling mobile, not like I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of like eating a bag of cement. Sometimes you just choking it back because you're hungry. So I'll update you guys on what the meal plan looks like. We'll probably do a podcast from the backcountry, which will be fun. You'll get to meet Kelly. Other things I'm thinking about is the luxury items, which include things like a chair. We've got I don't know if Garrett got one yet, but Kelly and I both have Helinox chair. They're super lightweight. And man, just something about sitting in a chair rather than on a rock or a log or in the dirt at the end of the day. It's just worth it. It's a bulkier item to carry. It's not, overly bulky, but it is considerable. So I am going to bring those because I want him to, like I said, enjoy it. But I am going to bring those. I'm thinking of bringing a little tiny Bluetooth speaker. And full disclaimer, I'm not one of those guys that blast music on the trail or or even at the campsite. It's just nice to have a little quiet background music at the end of the night when you're sitting by the campfire and having a drink and kicking back. It's one of those things that kind of just adds to the experience. Sometimes it's also nice to just turn it off and enjoy the sounds of wilderness. But I've got a small one. Nice to have, going to bring that along. And we've even, when it comes to field dressing and if you're concerned about bears, we've definitely put some music on just to keep the bears away. Well, I mean, that was the hope anyways. It gives you a little bit of comfort because that happened when we were doing the first elk we got. And there was grizzly bears everywhere. And we were doing it more or less in the dark. It was dusk at least and getting dark fast. So just to put some tunes on, and it's kind of just a comforting thing. And I think we actually left the speaker going as we were packing stuff out so that there was noise around the kill. And if anything was thinking about moving in on it, maybe they would think twice because there was some music playing. So yeah, that's the thing I like to bring, even though it's a little bit heavier. Crocs is another one. I mean, that's not really a luxury item, but taking your boots off at the end of the day feels amazing. And Crocs are super light. And yeah, man, there's just nothing better than getting out of your boots and letting your feet breathe a little bit, especially if you've been sweating and shit like that. But beyond that, I can't really think of much for luxury type items that are going to take up a lot of space in the pack. I do Have to think about my dog, Earl. He's going to be coming along for the hunt, and he's got a little sleeping bag that I that I bought for him. It's meant for backcountry stuff. It packs down relatively small, but it it's one of those things that takes up space. And he gets cold easily, so it's kind of necessary. Otherwise, he's going to be in my sleeping bag, which I would prefer not to share it with him. But that's coming. But he also has his own backpack, so he's going to carry his own water and food and a little collapsible bowl. So it's kind of nice that he's capable of carrying his own gear. He's got a really nice rough wear backpack. I'm sure I've posted photos of it in the past, but I'll get some more of them wearing that for sure. One of the things I'm considering, I mean, going back to the Bluetooth speaker and electronics, I don't think I'm going to bring a camera. I'm just going to rely on the old iPhone to capture photos. It's tricky, man, because you want to get good photos, but the camera can just be kind of cumbersome to carry around. And Kelly, being a filmmaker, maybe he'll bring something, but going to rely on the old iPhone. I still actually have my Dark Energy charging device. I don't know if you guys remember, but way back, we had Dark Energy as a sponsor, and they sent us a bunch of those to try out. Kelly's got stolen, unfortunately, when his truck was broken into, but I've still got mine, and I charged it up. And because that was probably going back like 6 years that we got those, you just got to be sure that it's going to hold a charge. So that's something I'm trying to make sure of before we go. I'm going to see how many charges I can get out of it to get my cell phone going. It only has to last for 3 days, so it's not a big deal. But batteries they start to lose life over time. So something to consider if you're relying on a portable charger for all your electronic stuff. Make sure that thing's still holding a charge and it's going to be able to get you through the entire trip, because we kind of rely on our phones more than I would like, I guess. But I mean, again, photos and using satellite communication and that it's a super important thing to have. And trying to think if there's anything else that's going to need a charge. I don't think actually I know it won't. The satellite communicator that I'm bringing, it'll have more than enough juice. It's only going to be used when I'm using it. I'll turn it off otherwise. Yeah, I mean, I do have a radio collar for my dog. That's all USB, but that thing lasts forever. Not something I'm going to have to worry about. And on that note, with the radio collar, Earl is a Weimaraner, as I'm sure you guys know. He's a pointer. And this dog has a hell of a nose on him. And he doesn't take off, but he can get distracted. And so this collar was the reason, the purchase was for that reason, was to keep him focused sometimes and, not get too far away. So what it does is it beeps and it vibrates. There's also a shock setting, which I don't use. I don't plan to use unless there's like an emergency. And, example of that is, I don't want him chasing wildlife. Number one, that hasn't been a problem yet, but we've had some run-ins with coyotes, and they have attempted to lure him, and they did so successfully one time, and I actually lost him. I couldn't find him. So he chased after that thing and followed it. And luckily, he followed it down towards where the main road is, which was far, far away from where I was, and ended up at someone's house. They had a golden retriever. He decided to hang out and play with that golden retriever, luckily, because there was a busy highway nearby. And the guy who owned the retriever called me, and I was able to pick him up. But that is the situation where a shock might snap them out of that prey drive. And that's just not something I want to deal with. I don't ever want him to chase any type of wildlife or get himself injured by doing so. So anyways, that's the reason for the collar. It works really, really good. Sometimes he's far, far out of sight, and I beep it. If he doesn't react, I give it a little vibrate, a whistle, and he's usually ripping down the trail after that. So it's been a good purchase just to keep him focused. It's been kind of hilarious because I didn't know what the hell he was getting into. We've been doing quite a bit of trail running, and he was eating something. I'm like, oh man, there's coyote shit everywhere. And I'm like, I hope he's not eating shit. Like, what is he eating? He just keeps going back and forth. And it's cool watching, any kind of pointer or hound track something because they go, back and forth, back and forth. They'll catch a scent and then they'll follow it. They lose it, they'll double back. And I've never trained him to do any of this, but it's just built into him. So what he was eating was morel mushrooms. They seem to be all over the place this year, and he loves them. And he can smell them from what seems like a mile away. And he was just constantly chowing down on these things. So luckily, it was not coyote shit he was eating; it was mushrooms. But I would like to train him to find them and not eat them, so that I can pick them. I haven't been able to pick any because he's eaten them all. But cool to watch him kind of track that stuff. And anyways, a bit of a diversion there on that topic, but that's the reason for the caller. Keep him focused because his nose is something else, which is great for birding and all that type of stuff. So I think I need to do a little more training with him as far as bird hunting and that type of thing. But anyways, I'll get back on topic here. So I think that kind of wraps up the prep side of things for this hunt with a new hunter. I really hope that all of the preparation that I do allows him to enjoy this and, embrace it and hopefully take the next step to get his core. He has his PAL, but I think this is going to be the experience that hopefully pushes him to the next step of getting his core, and then maybe in the fall going after some deer or some small game or whatever he's interested in. But just a really fun opportunity, and I'm kind of just glad I have this opportunity to take someone out there for the first time and watch them experience it. On the gear side of things, you heard me mention satellite communicator. So we were actually talking about this on the last episode, how it would be nice to try out the Zoleo. Garrett and Kelly both have a Garmin InReach, and it's been good to us for the most part. As you heard, we've run into a few small issues here and there with them, but overall they've been good. But I thought it'd be awesome to just try out a Zoleo. And the folks at Zoleo were actually kind enough to send one to me to try out. So full disclosure, I got this thing for free. They didn't, it didn't come with any rules as far as what I say. They just wanted me to try it out and hopefully review it on the show. So I've actually used it. I was out doing some scouting for this hunt that we're doing next week. I wanted to go and have a look at the campsite and the water situation, which I'll come back to actually. But it worked really well. I was out of cell range. Actually, hold on. Before I go too far, I had to set the thing up first. So you go on the website. I'm sure anybody who has any kind of satellite communication device knows the process, but you go on there, you create an account, you select your plan, and then you download the app to your phone. You sync your device to your phone, and it didn't take long, man. Everything was working properly. I sent a few messages just from my deck just to make sure everything was working and kind of get familiar. The app is really easy to use. It's just like, using your iPhone like you would to normally text somebody. You can get detailed weather sent to you, which is super cool. There is a SOS feature and a check-in feature right on the device, which means you don't have to use your phone if you want to check in. So that came up on the last episode. Garrett was talking about how some devices rely on a phone, and if you lose your phone or damage it, drop it in a creek or something, your communication device might not be useful. But in this case, the check-in and SOS features are also on the device. You just have to press and hold them for whatever it is, 5 seconds or something like that. And it'll send, and you set up all your contacts, who that's going to go to. And yeah, man, it's pretty straightforward. So the area, I knew that there was no cell service, or I figured there wouldn't be any. I was kind of in like a creek valley, like a dried creek bed, with minimal sort of sky access, let's say, meaning that it was in a deep canyon with rocks on either side. So very different than being on top of a mountain or in a big open field as far as connecting to a satellite. So I thought it'd be a good place to try it. So once I got in there and saw that there was no cell service, I fired the thing up and I sent a message to my girlfriend. I sent a message to Kelly, and it only took a few minutes, man, for it to grab the satellite connection. While it was doing that, I just hucked it back in my backpack and continued on. I heard it beep. I checked my phone, and the message had sent. And then a couple minutes later, I got messages back. So it worked perfectly, man. I'm really happy with it. I sent my location as well as a message, and then did a little bit of texting back and forth, and super happy with how it performed. I did everything that you would expect it to. So first glance at this thing, it's awesome. Again, they're not paying me to say anything good about it. I don't even really necessarily have to say anything about it, but figured I would let you guys know my first impressions of it. And also just a big thanks to Zoleo for sending the device to me. The people I was talking to were super nice. And yeah, again, just big thanks to them for sending this thing over. It's going to get a lot of use. It's obviously going to come with us on this hunt next week. And it's good peace of mind just to have this, especially when, you're out of cell range. You probably shouldn't be going out there without one, honestly. So if you're new to hunting, the Zoleo, the nice thing about it is I think it's under $300, which is affordable in the when you compare it to the Garmin InReaches. They're more expensive, so it's a accessible one, and they had a good sale on them last September, I think it was. So if anything like that comes up, we'll be sure to let you guys know. But definitely check out that device. And for someone like me who does a lot of backcountry trail running, I'm often out there on my own with no cell service. I always let people know where I'm going to be and when I expect to be out. But if something happens, it's a nice peace of mind for me to know that that thing is in my backpack. And, if something happens to me or the dog, I know that I can kind of line things up and be safe out there. So definitely look into them and let us know what you're using and your experience with them. But that's my first impressions of the Zoleo satellite communicator. All right. So I don't know. I kind of hate talking about this stuff. I don't really like bringing it up because it just feels like kind of negative and like we're trying to single people out. But that was not the reason for this. And so if you follow us on Instagram, we put up a post, and I'm just looking at the image now, and it was from an outfitter, and nothing against outfitters or anything. It wasn't like trying to create division. It's just looking at this as an example of hunters in general. We're all in this together. So it's not pointing out one aspect of the industry or anything like that. It just happened to resonate with me, and there's a story behind it. So the text in this is, we are currently buying large volumes of beavers over the next 10 months. We need somewhere around 3,000. Let us know what you have and what you'll give us on a discount. And the image is like the inside of a sea can, and there is a bunch of dead beavers and sort of looks like trash, miscellaneous things, all sort of hucked into this sea can, and it's just not a great photo, and there's not a full explanation for why beavers are needed or anything like that, and so we posted it and we asked you guys. Let me see what we asked. There's more to it, but we said we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this post? Should everyone be free to share images of whatever they like, or should we as hunters come to an agreement on what we post on social media and what we keep to ourselves? So we weren't trying to sway anyone one way or the other. We genuinely wanted to know what people thought, and we got quite a few comments, and it was kind of a 50-50 split, which was really interesting. The way that we came across this post, I'll be very honest about it. my girlfriend, who what I met was a vegetarian. She knew that I hunted, and she was kind of always on the fence about it. But we've been together for over 3 years now, and slowly I've talked to her about it, and she's had lots of questions. She's very open minded, and she's really come around to it. And she, I'm not going to take credit for it, but she started eating fish, and now she's kind of dabbling in other things, pork and chicken and that kind of stuff. So it's been a long process of sort of explaining, just food, and not food in general, but meat. You can consume meat responsibly. You can get it from local farms. You don't have to support factory farming and these animals that are held in horrible conditions. I mean, that's why we all hunt, and there's the connection between the two there, and she can understand that. And you can consume meat in a way that is friendly to the environment. Again, if you're supporting local farms that are let's say doing regenerative farming practices, it's really good, man, for the environment, and mentally, it's just nice to know you're eating food that was raised responsibly, wasn't pumped full of all kinds of hormones and who knows what, antibiotics and all that kind of shit. And so that's the reason why we hunt. And so she's now able to make that connection there. She also knows that I'm very dedicated to conservation. She thinks it's hilarious that we go out and count sheep, but she thinks it's awesome. I show her the photos of, the young lambs that were just born, and I explain that, some of the biggest threats, the ones in Kamloops that we were just up there counting, are things like coyotes and black bears. So she understands that sometimes those things have to be managed if you want to save those cute little lambs. And it's been a long, long process, but all of those little tiny pieces of information have not brought her over to become a hunter, but she's not against it necessarily, right? And I think the only way you can convince somebody and educate them is to do it very, very slowly and with respect, and with sharing the knowledge and the passion you have for wildlife. So that's what I did, and and I'm sort of proud of all of the effort and the way I approached it with her. And she's quite happy to see us go out and hunt and have a good time. And she knows that I just love wildlife, and that I would do anything to protect these critters, and that I put in time and money and everything else, and that I work with the Wild Sheep Foundation. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but those are the things that help change people's minds and people's perspectives. But you can't just do it quickly. You can't do it in a short post on Instagram. It has to be long form conversations with people people you care about, your neighbors, whoever, people who just show a genuine interest in what you're doing. It doesn't have to be combative or get ugly or anything like that. So anyways, this post came up on her Facebook feed, and it was somebody she was friends with. Just they're obviously a hunter. They shared the post. They're obviously trying to do something to help out the outfitter. But it came up in her Facebook feed, and she was kind of upset by it, had a lot of questions about it. And obviously, I'm the one that has to answer those questions. So the interesting thing was that a lot of people were saying, not a lot, but a comment I kind of saw overlap a few times there was, if you don't like it, keep scrolling. And I don't think that's a valid argument, because she didn't ask for that in her feed, and she didn't want to see it. And I think we as hunters have to understand that people might be okay with hunting, and they understand that if they eat meat, that they're, if it's chickens, or if it's cows, or if it's pigs, yeah, they have to be killed and slaughtered at a certain point. And I think most people take that into consideration when they consume meat. All of us hunters certainly do. But they don't necessarily want to see it, right? And it doesn't matter, yes, you can keep scrolling, but they're going to see it, and they're going to feel something when they see it. It doesn't mean that they have to comment on it or anything really. They can just continue on, but that image is going to stick with that person, and it might be something that sways them against hunting. So I think that's the key point here, is that you can say that people are soft now, and we should be able to do whatever we want. We should rub it in their faces, and they can deal with it. But I can say with 100% certainty that if we continue to do this, hunting is going to go away. I guarantee it. And so I think we, as hunters, need to do a much better job of thinking about what we post. And there are opportunities to educate people, but here's the thing, man. It's all about storytelling, and that's how I've successfully inform people about what I do and why I do it. And they genuinely become interested and have so many questions. They think the backpacking part is cool, and the adventure side of it is cool, and all the equipment, and how do you survive out there for, a week, 10 days, 12 days, whatever. It's super, super interesting. And you can find ways to get those conversations going. And a dead animal isn't really the way to go about it, in my opinion, because rather than looking at it and thinking about it, yeah, they are just going to either get mad about it, or they're just going to scroll right past it and just get it out of their vision as soon as, as fast as they can. But if there's things like, we've tried to be a little bit more creative with Kelly's bear. We posted a photo of the hide with any animals. We kind of just try and do something with the antlers, things that will, sort of hopefully bring out curiosity and be like, oh, wow, that's interesting. That hide is beautiful. And I mean, there's so many ways to go about it. And we've sort of gotten away from posting grip and grins on our page. That doesn't mean that I think everybody should stop doing it. But we want the Rookie Hunter to be a welcoming place for people to come to. And we share the stories of our hunts here because we can go an hour, we can go 2 hours, however much time we need to explain the whole process of a hunt. And you can't really do that on social media. You just can't give somebody the full picture about what you're doing. So again, I think this is just my opinion, and it's fine if you disagree with it. But I think we really, really need to do a better job of, our PR for the hunting community. Because if we have the approach of, if you don't like it, keep scrolling, well, eventually, people are going to get annoyed and disgusted and frustrated enough that they sway to the other side. And when a vote comes up for banning things like predator hunting and, you name it, slowly but surely, things are going to get taken away. And the saddest part of that is the wildlife are going to suffer as a result, because we all know that we do a lot of great things for conservation. The money from tags that we buy goes back into it. The money we donate to organizations like the Wild Sheep Foundation, the Wild Sheep Society of BC, the BC Wildlife Federation, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Rocky Mountain Goat Alliance, all of those organizations are funded by hunters and, subsidized by tax money, I'm sure. And they rely on our data, our reporting, our harvest numbers, all that kind of stuff to get a sense of what's going on out there. And, if we lose the opportunity to hunt, wildlife is also going to suffer as a result, which is a point that a lot of people don't understand. But anyways, that's the backstory behind that photo and how it came into view for us. And it was just interesting to kind of witness it in real time and see how it affected somebody that I care about. And it frustrated me because I felt like it, one image like that can undo all the years of effort that I've put into explaining to somebody that I love why I do this and why it's important and how it all ties in with conservation. It caused her to pause for a moment and say, "What the hell is this?" And I had to explain it. So, I did explain that it wasn't illegal. It was being used for baiting bears. It's an outfit. They're allowed to do that. I'm going to actually mention one more thing. If somebody said, post what you want, get people talking, and take the opportunity to educate them, which I agree. You can use these as teachable moments. But I did see that an older woman commented on there, and basically everyone just lit her up with comments and called her a moron. So there's your teachable moment. You pissed that person off. You lost them. That's going to be the person that, if it goes to a vote to the general population to ban something, that person is now motivated to go out and say, I'm against this. I'm voting against it. So, again, we're not doing a great job. I hope that this story sort of sheds a light on why you should think twice about it. And I know a lot of people, hunting's been in their life since they were kids. It's in their family, and they just don't see it as something that should be offensive. But for Kelly and myself, we've only been doing this for 8 years, and we understand what all the questions that you have as a non-hunter, and why would somebody do this? And then it even took us 2 years to actually start hunting. It took a lot of research, a lot of consideration, a lot of talking to people, and we became hunters. But it did not happen overnight. It was the result of talking to a lot of really educated and respectful people. And again, I just think we should really, really think about how a photo can be interpreted, how it can be used against us. And one more point, I'm kind of going off here, but if you've been following the news, there was an incident in Wyoming where a hunter, I think what happened, I should double check, but I think what happened was he hit a wolf with his snowmobile, which I think in Wyoming, you're pretty much able to do whatever you want. You can hit him with your truck. You can hit him with your sled. You can shoot him to minimize the predator populations there. So he wounded the thing. He taped its mouth shut. He brought it to his local watering hole and paraded it around. There's video of it. I haven't watched it, but it's been picked up by news outlets around the world, and they're calling this man a hunter. So actions, like that make us all look really shitty. We know that this man is not a hunter. He's an asshole and a moron, but anti-hunting groups are looking for things like this to use against us, and it's super frustrating. So just remember, we all kind of get painted with the same brush, even though we don't obviously agree with shit like this. And so I think, to close this out, I think we all need to sort of point out what we think is ridiculous, and maybe get some people to think twice about what they post. But I also think that people are free to do whatever the hell they want. So I'm not going to tell you can't do something, but that's my opinion. So anyways, that was kind of a not the funnest way to end off this episode. But hey, I'm doing my part to take someone new out for the first time, and to educate them and to inspire them and to show them why we do this and why we love it. Hopefully we're able to harvest a bear. I'm going to explain how that's going to help other animals in the area. And he's going to get to take some meat home, assuming we get one, enjoy it. And he's going to be able to share that story with his family and friends. And the conversation continues that way. And that's what I would love to see. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, me rambling by myself. And I'm hoping the next episode you hear is on our little portable Zoom recorder in the backcountry with me and that new hunter. So I hope you guys are having a good time out there. Thanks for listening to me ramble. And we'll talk to you soon, guys. Cheers. there you go. I hope that all made sense to you guys at the end there. It's a tricky topic to tackle, and I want to hear your feedback. If you disagree with me, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to start arguments or create more division in a community that seems to be divided already. You know, we can all at least meet in the middle somewhere, but those are my thoughts, my opinions, and I want to hear yours. So you can either go over to our Instagram and comment on that photo, or you can send us an email, whatever you want to do. But again, man, I just want to keep the dialogue friendly. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, because that's how we move forward. We got to talk to each other and share our thoughts. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Keep in touch. Follow us on Instagram. You know what to do. But that's it for this one. We'll talk to you guys soon.